The Royal Veterinary College has looked into more than 1,000 dog breeds living in the UK, and it's now identified the ones most likely to have a runny tummy. It turns out designer crossbreeds containing the word poo. Isn't that amazing? So poodle genes like Cockapoos, Cavapoos, miniature poodles are at the top of the list where they can be vulnerable to diarrhea. So look, let's just meet a brilliant dog over here. This is Alfie. And Alfie's owner is Afshin.
Yes.
Great to see you. In PR, I know. And you were barking. Were you barking because you were a little bit nervous, were you? And the TV set, that's OK, don't worry. Now, he's a cockapoo.
Cockapoo?
Yeah, and that means he's a cocker spaniel and a poodle.
Exactly.
And has he ever, I mean, I just have to ask you, has he ever had diarrhea?
Never in 10 years. So I have had him since he was a puppy, since he was 10 weeks old. Yeah. And he's now 10, he's a decade old, and he's never had this issue.
And you haven't, so you haven't, yeah? You've been OK, have you?
He's been all right.
He's looking at the cameras. I love that. He's got a real sense of camera 3 there. So, all right, what do you make of this research, though? It could be wrong, or you might say, well, it's the word poo that seems to be causing it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I said, I haven't had a problem, and therefore I don't think that... Oh,
that's all right.
I don't think he's been absolute legend. But also because of his background, the breed, the poodle in him, the temperament is they're obedient, they're intelligent.
Is another owner at the other side of the room? Is that what's giving him excitement?
Probably, and all the cameras and the lights and the action. He wants to be famous.
What do you think, Owen? Do you think that some breeds, not obviously this particular dog, but some breeds are... We have overlooked the medical difficulties.
What a gorgeous little doggy! Every time I see a dog, because I do have cats, but I love cats and dogs. And every time I see a dog, I have to go doggy. Yeah, I mean, humans created dogs. Dogs were bred from a wolf, single type of wolf, about 12,000 years ago.
Was it a dire wolf? A dire wolf.
There you go. The experts in the room.
I think so.
And which is fascinating because you know, I sometimes see some not absurd, but absurdly cute dogs, and I just look at them and go, bred from a wolf, because it is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? And so all of these species are created by us. My concern comes in. I mean, the research doesn't mean, in this case, that every possible cockadoodle...
Cockapoo. He did get mistaken for a labradoodle sometimes.
Every cockapoo will have diarrhea. It just means they have a much elevated risk. It means they're more likely. I'm more concerned about, for example, pugs, right? And I'm going to call them out as a gay man. Lots of gay guys in New York seem to have pugs. What is going on there? Yeah. They sound like they're suffocating.
Yeah, well, they've got breathing... Well, their noses have collapsed.
So I don't like when we start messing around. I know we've created all these different species ourselves, but when we start basically for our own amusement, for our own kind of like, oh, aren't they so adorable, start introducing actually quite severe health difficulties to dogs.
Esther, you've got dogs in the family home. What sort of dogs are they?
Dobermans.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah.
So they're guard dogs, are they?
Yeah, they are. Look, I do think that we should encourage owners to get breeds that are less likely to have health problems like pugs and, you know, dogs that have breathing difficulties or diarrhea. I can imagine that's uncomfortable for the owners. It could never be me. But it's quite hard to get a handle on it legally. It should just be sort of gentle encouragement and all of that.
Yeah, let's talk to Carol in Derby. Carol, do you think we're overlooking medical problems such as diarrhea?
Yes, we are. I mean, how many of these mixed breed dogs are there that have problems with their eyes, problems with their ears when they do them, problems with their breathing? You know, it really should stop breeding with
but I suppose there's always been interbreeding between different types of dog. I mean, by definition, they're all ranging around, you know, meeting each other.
That's it. I thought I think it's quite funny that everyone's buying all these designer dogs, and basically they're all mongrels, spending thousands of pounds on these beautiful dogs. The definition of a mongrel is a mum and a dad, female and a male dog, who have another dog, and it's a mixed breed.
Well, maybe mongrels, you know, mixed breeds are the healthiest type of dog, I guess, because they've got the genes...
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, they've got genes from all over. What you don't want is to narrow the gene pool and have...
I've seen like dog owners have like the dog's back legs on like wheels because the dog has lost the use of the function of its back legs, and then it's like blind in one eye. And I've literally seen it, and I just think at some point, we need to just think of the well-being of the animal as opposed to someone just wanting.
It's very
It
hard
must be
to...
very confusing what is going on. The dog is like, what is happening?
Well, he's on... No, but I tell you what it is that the monitors are showing the picture of Alfie to himself, and he's... like it's showing now.
Yeah.
And
I think he's
gonna be...
impressed by how good looking he is.
But he doesn't know
and I
that's
love
him,
he's
does
just
he?
turned. He's turned his right side just to say, look, this is the side.
He's
Here we are.
catcalling himself, no pun
Yeah,
intended.
he's saying, come in closer. Thank you, Carol. Vanda in Flintshire. How are you, Vanda?
Good morning. Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's very hard to... There we are. Look at this. That's it. Oh, don't be cross.
Oh, Lord.
But honestly, isn't it lovely? And there's not been a single incident of a stomach upset with this lovely Alfie.
Yeah, what another thing people are forgetting, the cockapoo, my son couldn't have a dog till he was 20, and the cockapoos they're allergic. They shed their hair.
Sorry, your son was allergic to cockapoos?
Allergic to any animal.
Really? What's that? Is that a condition?
Yeah, well, it's his skin. He's got skin problems.
Oh, so he couldn't go to a zoo, for example?
No. I didn't take him anyway. I don't like zoos. So anyway, when the cockapoo breed came out, he's got the cockapoo, and she is amazing.
Ah, there we are.
And hypoallergenic.
Amazing.
Hyperallergenic, Afshin says, so that's, yeah.
Non-shedding, non-molting,
No shedding, no molting, no heavy breathing.
I don't know about that.
Is it? So what made you choose?
Oozes love.
Oh, thank you, Vanda. That's nice to hear about your son. What made you choose this particular dog? Was it bred for you, or?
Well, I think they're really cute, firstly. They have this, very teddy bear-like look about them.
Yeah.
But also, the two breeds that you're mixing are the poodle and the spaniel. And they are notoriously really, really great breeds anyway, because you've got the intelligence of the poodle, you've got the obedience, but then you've got the playful, the active side of the spaniel. So mixing those, you've got, a little legend. So
If a rat were to run across the studio floor, would he be after it? Is there a hunting thought there?
Let me be honest, this is a scenario that we've never been in before, so I have absolutely no idea.
What's about with cats? What does he do with cats? Does he offend a cat?
Well, it depends on the cat. So he's really great with some cats, and then he's an absolute nightmare with others. But generally speaking, he gets on. He's very, very friendly.
And
with
very
anyone.
good, doesn't bite and all that stuff. And...
He's never, ever bitten.
Yeah.
I say that now, he's probably going to jump up.
No, but I think
That'd
that's
be
good.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Esther, would
fair.
you consider having one of these dogs?
Oh, no, I don't do pets.
So you're
I can barely
she has
keep
dogs
a
in a
houseplant.
family home, but not...
I can barely keep a houseplant alive.
Okay.
And you don't want to put anything living in my care.
Okay, right. But I mean, yeah, I suppose the dog is pretty hardy, but
Yeah.
it needs company, doesn't it? Frankly?
Yeah, exactly. And
needs
he
walking
needs
every day.
walks, and I'm like, I don't even walk myself.
Oh, Cheryl in Edinburgh. Hi. Hey, Cheryl.
Being eaten by.
Hi, I'm Cheryl in Nice.
In Nice, how wonderful. What do you think of our lovely Alfie here?
He's gorgeous, yes.
He's
I have a Pouchon,
Pouchon, yes.
which is a cross between a Bichon Frise and a poodle.
Run that to me one more time. Pooh is the poodle, and what's the other one?
Sean is the Bichon Frise.
Oh, Bichon Frise. Yeah, okay. I know. So I'm trying to visualise. That's quite small, is it?
Yes, smaller than a cockapoo.
And are you getting people saying to you, "Wait a minute, you're doing a kind of one of those elite breeding things, and it's not healthy"? And
No, a lot of people. Well, there seem to be a lot of crossbreeds around Cockapoos, Cavapoos. The reason we had her is because my grandson's allergic to dog hair.
right,
And
that's another one.
she doesn't molt.
Yeah.
So we could have a crossbreed like her.
Yeah. No, I understand. There's so many allergies now.
Yeah.
Have you worked it out? What's causing him to go?
No, I just think this is a very alien situation for
I
him,
think
isn't
he
it? But
complains every time he disappears off the monitor.
speaking of hair, he has a haircut more often than I do. So obviously, because they don't molt or shed, you do need to groom them quite regularly.
Yeah.
So every quarter, he's at the hairdressers.
Yeah. When you see pugs and they can't breathe, does that upset you?
Yeah.
It's
It really
difficult.
does.
I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
But then
I
they
mean,
win.
I
you
know that.
But I think they've
each
had
their own.
I think Crufts have had a thing where they've they've done something where they've tried to restrict it a bit. You know, the dog show. Maggie in Hampshire, hello.
Oh, hi there.
Hi there.
Oh, is that two people? Brian as well?
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Maggie, I'm Maggie.
Maggie, hi. Sorry, I could hear somebody else. What do you want to say, Maggie?
Well, first of all, can I just say that it is a beautiful dog, but it's got some hair over its eye which needs trimming, which is really annoying. It's going to be affecting its.
Oh,
when it
let's
looks
see.
out.
He actually is
Yeah,
very
on its eye,
due.
when I'm
He's
looking at it.
overdue a haircut.
He's
already booked in, don't worry.
Yeah, but it's right over his eye, and I find that a lot of the time with dogs like that, that they're, they can hardly see out their flipping eyes. So I've talked to you before, Jeremy, about greyhounds. To me, I think people should go to rescue homes. There are so many rescue homes that need dogs of all types. And I just think that, as that lady said, they are basically mongrels. I love dogs. I'm not knocking the dog. It looks very pretty. But I just think that people should, really try and go to rescue homes. There are so many dogs looking for homes.
So it's so true.
It seems a
Yeah,
shame.
we got our cats from a rescue home, and they've been so happy. These two brothers that we have, Wally and Wilbur. Thank you, Maggie. The tragedy, Owen, was when we had COVID and we got so many people getting dogs just because they couldn't see beyond the next 6 months.
Pandemic puppies. Yeah, my vet talked to me about that, and it was really tragic. You'd get these dogs which people got, they wanted comfort, they were alone, and then they'd all go back to work and then just not look after them. And they'd get all these lonely dogs being left alone, barking, abandoned, awful.
Really sad.
Yeah, and I guess he doesn't have that withdrawal because during lockdown, obviously, everyone did. A lot of people went out and bought puppies and then they had to go back to work.
Yeah.
And actually, they were left alone. But because I had him before all of this, he doesn't have that anxiety when I leave him.
So nice to meet you, Afshin, and to meet Alfie as well, who's put in a great performance here today.